problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But he putting
that
shit
fucking
down.
dude hits hard.
Set that JakePaul can come 15-20% in regards to AnthonyJoshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
JoeRogan has reacted to AnthonyJoshua's intense new training regimen for the rumored JakePaul fight, and his response says it all. After watching leaked footage of Joshua throwing explosive combinations and working with world-class coaches, Rogan called a former heavyweight champion terrifying and warned that JakePaul may have finally taken on a challenge he can't talk his way out of, with Joshua looking more focused, faster, and meaner than he's been in years. Rogan believes this matchup could end brutally and fast if Jake dares to step into the ring.
Need to get stronger.
The JakePaul versus AnthonyJoshua fight will be a fully sanctioned professional heavyweight bout under the marquee of Queensberry rules. They'll fight over 8 rounds, each lasting 3 minutes, and both boxers must wear 10-ounce gloves. Crucially, Joshua must weigh in at no more than 245 pounds, adding a strict limit to keep things competitive. A win or loss will count on each fighter's professional record. This is the real deal.
Professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ got to take him serious because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Again, heavyweight pro bout, 10-ounce gloves. AJ talking about breaking internets over faces. I think he meant to say breaking his face on the internet. Who knows? Maybe you can do both in the big 2025. But then you have the weight limit, 245 pounds, and people are automatically going to go, oh, God, here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing in the contract. No, stop all that. And I'm going to go on a rant in a second for all the people that thought this was fake, for all the people that thought that Jake wouldn't do this, for all the people that thought he was scared. I'm going to go on that rant in a second. But, okay, yes, 245 is a weird number because Jake has already fought at heavyweight. He fought Mike Tyson at 220-something. But again, I understand it a little bit. We're on short notice here. You don't want to have a Tyson Fury type situation, which AJ would never be 290 coming in here. But 260, 270, it starts to get out of the realm of possibility of, like, what are we doing here? Even though heavyweight has no limit, I get it.
Nisa Badarian, CEO of Most Valuable Promotions MVP and JakePaul's key promoter, told Sky Sports that the December 19 fight with AnthonyJoshua represents a massive global level event. He stressed that while Joshua may be the more experienced boxer, Paul's delusional confidence could be the X factor. Badarian framed the matchup as a symbolic clash and said their team moved fast to make the fight happen, compressing plans and negotiations into a remarkably short time. He also confirmed strict weight limits and professional fight conditions to ensure a serious high-stakes showdown. Badarian told Sky Sports that this fight with AnthonyJoshua is much less of a mismatch than Joshua's previous bout with Francis Ngannou. He argued that while Ngannou was a huge man, he lacked serious boxing experience, making that fight more uneven. In contrast, Badarian believes Paul has grown rapidly in the sport, gaining enough skill and ring maturity to make the Joshua matchup more competitive.
The weight, will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and AnthonyJoshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua? 100%.
According to many fight experts, Jake Paul is taking a massive risk by stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua. Former cruiserweight champion Lawrence Alcoli has warned that Joshua's sheer size and power make the bout a serious health hazard for Paul. Meanwhile, former two-time world champion David Benavidez has bluntly said Paul is walking into a dangerous trap due to Joshua's vast experience at the elite level.
I give 100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's gonna be a good card. You know what I mean? It's a big fight, and it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even taking that fight.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Carl Froch has criticized Anthony Joshua's decision to take the Jake Paul fight, suggesting that AJ is effectively cashing out, and he's not wrong to question it. Froch argues that Joshua, having already made a fortune and tasted championship glory, seems more motivated by money than by legacy at this point, given his financial security. Froch feels Joshua has little left to prove in traditional boxing, and is instead choosing the easiest route with a high-paying crossover matchup.
What else have we got to consider? Is AJ cashing out? Well, I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished now. He won't get that confidence back. He's not had any confidence, in his head. No belief for a long time. And I don't think he can get back to world level. There's a couple of new young guns now coming up and coming through. It's like a changing of the guard. And when Usyk retires, I don't know what Daniel Dubois is going to do next, but what Daniel Dubois did to him, then he went on and lost to Usyk. But there's a few new heavyweights coming through, Moses Atalma, just to mention one. And you wouldn't start putting AJ in with any of these young up-and-comers that can punch hard, because I just don't think he's got the chance, because the ambition and the desire is going to be gone. So AJ most definitely is cashing out, and you can't fault him. Fair play to him. He's going to get a massive payday, maximise his exit route by fighting fake Paul.
Some boxing fans believe Jake Paul could actually beat Anthony Joshua, and they're betting it all on his power. Despite being labeled a YouTuber turned boxer, Paul has shown genuine punching strength in his fights, landing big shots that have knocked down or out more than a few opponents. Tyson Fury, for one, recently predicted that Paul could knock AJ out, citing his growing size and power at heavyweight. Meanwhile, Paul himself has repeatedly claimed that Joshua's chin is weak, suggesting a clean, well-timed shot to end things early.
You think he can win?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring. You can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land, and I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is, as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me, I'm a professional fighter, and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is in Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
Many are calling this a David versus Goliath matchup. Jake Paul, who has built his profile through social media and lighterweight boxing, is stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua, a towering heavyweight with championship experience and a massive physical advantage. Joshua's size, power, and pedigree paint him as Goliath, while Paul, the underdog, is betting on his hard ambition and guts to level the playing field.
Can't judge Anthony Joshua for getting the bag, as the kids say, for going to wherever the fight's going to take place and taking $92 million for going up against Jake Paul, right? You can't give him for that. You can't judge him for that. But don't try and tell me that this is a real professional boxing contest. I'm saying my guess is that this will be an exhibition matchup. And if it is, it'll be one hell of a show. And I'll certainly tune in. And fair play to both men because they're making an absolute goddamn killing. But what is going on? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's a lose-lose for Joshua. It's a win-win for Jake Paul.
One of the major concerns around Joshua taking on Jake Paul is that AJ has only had 2 fights in the past 2 years. After a split decision loss to Alexander Usyk in 2022, Joshua has been more sporadic. He beat Robert Helenius in August 2023 and Otto Wallen in December 2023 before knocking out Francis in Nanu in March 2024.
Anthony Joshua is his activity. He's only fought twice in 2 years, and one of them he got knocked out of Daniel Dubois. That was his last fight, and a lot of people say you can only judge a fighter's quality from their last fight. And then the fight before that was a win, but it was a win against Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, if you know, he was the UFC heavyweight who's not a real boxer, and he only had one fight before that boxing fight, what he lost as well. So that's his activity in boxing. Now, Jake Paul, on the other hand, looking at his box rec, he's had 6 fights since 2023. And one of them was against Mike Tyson. But we all seen what happened in that fight. Mike Tyson was well past his prime. Where Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, is, well, I'm not going to say he's coming into his prime because he had some great wins earlier on in his career before he lost to Usyk twice. And by the way, when he did lose to Usyk, the last one was a split decision. It was a pretty close fight. So now this fight is matched. And I just want to look at the tail of the tape. Now, looking at the age difference, we've got 28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else, what comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then, like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. They'll come down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pounds versus 252 pounds. We got a 252-pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had one, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are included at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Then the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost 1. AJ has had 28 fights and he's lost 4 with 25 KOs.
David Hay has issued a dire warning about the upcoming Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, calling a blatant mismatch. Speaking to Sky News, the former heavyweight champion said Joshua could inflict horrendous damage on Paul and fears that Paul's safety is a serious risk. Hay went so far as to suggest the fight could be his last day on earth, painting a grim picture of what might happen if Paul underestimates Joshua's size, power, and experience. There's a massive physical gap between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Joshua stands at 6 feet 6 inches and with an 82 in reach, while Paul is about 6 feet 1 inch in with 76 in reach. Joshua typically weighs around 240, 250 pounds, but for this fight, it's capped at 245 pounds. In contrast, Paul spent most of his career as a cruiserweight and has only bulked up to around 227 pounds for his previous heavyweight outings. This size and weight advantage could give Joshua a serious edge in power and reach.
It's a big money fight, £100 million potentially. Are you confident it'll happen?
I wasn't confident when I first heard about it. It sounds like one of those fairy tale fights that people talk about but don't actually get over the line. I heard this 3-4 months ago. I just dismissed it. I heard it a week ago. I went along with it, but deep down I thought this isn't going to happen. And today it's been made official. Jake Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match, boxing gloves, to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. Someone who is an Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice. Although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois, he's a top 10 heavyweight on the planet versus internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level, and he lost to Tommy Fury, for instance. And Tommy Fury, who he lost to, versus Anthony Joshua, they're two completely different sports. So I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar, and I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you've got to give him credit.
You say an insane challenge. You've described it before as Jake Paul being a cat versus Anthony Joshua's lion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not equally matched on any sense, are they?
There's not one element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15, 20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.